I tend to regard my reading more as a drug addiction. But all I can say is, my friends, you have it really bad.
All right, next is this John Ickert? Eichert? Good.
My grandfather was a Titan. If I said his name, you would recognize it. There are a few things that you should know about growing up with a Titan. The first is that memories fade. All memories fade, but memories of Titans blur into black and white, the faded photographs in newspapers, static on a TV screen. You don't get to know a Titan by standing at his feet and hoping he can hear you cry. Sitting around the dinner table with my grandfather, our only job was to reflect his light back at him. If we couldn't do that, we might as well finish our meal in the kitchen. When my grandfather was in his office, it was a war room, and when he wasn't, it was a museum. Tucked between family photographs and awards were evidence of the two things in this world I think he truly loved: the sea and the stars. Grand Golden Age galleons, French and Spanish and English, from the time when those nations held the world under their thumbs, and the history of rocketry in injection molded plastic. Saturns, Sputniks, Apollos. I knew all their names once. My grandfather died when I was young, and he started dying when I was even younger, a quirk of aging that left him perfectly able to recall headlines from 1946 and unable to recognize the faces of his family. It took me years after he died for me to miss my grandfather. A headline about some recent triumph in the race to the next final frontier, and all of a sudden I was standing beside him, 8 years old, in the sweltering Florida heat, watching the Discovery launch pad from a mile away. At first it's too far away, you can't see anything, and then it builds. It grows brighter until it's the brightest thing you've ever seen, the loudest thing you've ever heard, the loudest thing you've ever felt down to your bones, loud enough to echo 20 years. A star taking its place in heaven. You don't get to know a Titan by standing at his feet and hoping he can hear you cry. You get to know a Titan by the things he leaves behind.